Hi everyone, I just want to talk to you a little bit more about the type of plastic that I'm going to be using for the injection molded sphere. I've gone through quite a few different selections, and my original choice was what they call an ABS 30% infill. So they use like a glass fiber what that does, it strengthens the ABS plastic. Probably the main reason why I chose this is I've used this a lot in the past. I know its strength, I know its characteristics. Well, going back and forth with the vendor, and at the same time talking, or not talking, but looking up, researching different types of plastics online, we ran across a different type of material, which is denoted as PA66. And the PA66, in the end, is substantially stronger, more shockproof, less resistance to shattering and things of that nature. So what I want to do is I want to show you a little bit more about the different types of materials, their different strengths, why I chose them. And ultimately, in the end, the sphere is going to be substantially stronger than what I originally predicted it was going to be, which is great, considering that I now have my BB-8 rolling in the 3D printed sphere. So if it's able to do that, it's actually going to be really, really good in the PA66. So what I did was the vendor went through and they extruded me three different types, injected actually, three different types of materials, or they did two and then I printed one. This is just a piece that they happen to have already had tooled, so it was easy. The first one here is a PA66, and then the ABS, and then what I did was I took that and I 3D printed one with 100% infill, so you guys could actually see the strength difference between the three different types of plastics that we're talking about here. So first thing, if you take the 3D printed one, I'm just going to show you simply, I'm not putting much pressure to be able to flex it this much. And that's an issue when we're talking about something like a sphere, where it needs to be able to maintain the round shape of the sphere, especially when you take something like a 20-pound drivetrain and put it in there. That puts a lot of weight on it, which tends to make it become a little bit more oval and a little bit less round. So as you can see, the PLA flexes a lot, and that's an issue. Then you go to the ABS 30%, and I'm putting about the same amount of pressure, at least I'm trying to. So you can see it flexes a lot less. Matter of fact, we'll go back here really quick. PLA takes very little pressure. ABS, quite a bit more pressure. And then this is PA, which is the ultimate one that we're going to be using. Takes a substantial amount of pressure to even twist it. Well, I'm doing this with my hands, and obviously that's not a very good bearing for how strong it is. And the reason why I say that is there's nothing to keep me from twisting this one harder than this one just to make it look good. So I came up with a very unscientific test on how we could go ahead and test these. Not only for the flexing the strength, but one other inherent very nice thing about the PA is a very high resistance to heat. The PLA, one of the things that's discussed a lot on the forums, and one of the reasons why people don't like using it, is because if you leave it in the car in that mild amount of heat, it pretty much warps and falls apart or becomes completely different than what you wanted it to be. So the PA66 has extremely high temperature. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you a little experiment that I've set up. And the experiment is going to be, I attach these guys to the edge of the table. I simply take this, which is a 5-pound weight, and I'm going to hang it off of it. And by doing that, you'll be able to see the amount of bend that will get out of the material itself. So that will give you an extremely even comparison across the board of the three different types of materials. Then just for fun, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat them up with a lighter, and we're going to see how much heat they can take before they actually bend and fall apart. Okay, so what I've done for our little experiment is I've just simply taken a clamp, I've clamped one of our pieces onto the edge of the bench. I'm going to start out with the PLA piece first, and it's suspended off of this one edge, so the bridge portion we talked about before, which is 9 millimeters by about 1.5 millimeters, a little 1.5 millimeter rib, is actually going to be bearing all the strength, so we'll be able to see how much it truly flexes. What I've done is I've taken a little 5-pound weight, and I've taken some zip ties and connected them on, and I'm just going to simply hang this off the PLA piece to see how much it bends. And you'll notice that we get a substantial amount of bend out of it. And the more bend that we get, kind of representative of what would end up happening in a sphere if you made it out of this. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it over to the ABS.
There's the ABS material. We're going to do the same 5-pound weight. And you'll notice that although we do get some bend out of it, there's not nearly as much bend as we had before. The other thing, and I don't know if I'm quite catching the video, but this portion of the part is actually being pulled away. It's bowing this way due to the stress caused by this area right here. So it's actually bending up here as well as here. And then last, I'm going to do the PA66, which is the material I'm going to be using for the sphere. Same 5-pound weight. I'm going to hang him right there. And you'll notice that, yeah, we're getting a tiny bit of bend, but not much at all. And considering the amount of weight that's on this little tiny area, that's extremely strong. This edge here is also maintaining a really straight edge, maybe a little teeny tiny bit of a bow, but it's extremely strong compared to what we had before. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a flame test, and that's what's actually going to be kind of fun, because I'm going to set up with PLA first, and we're going to see what it does when you actually put some heat to it. And what I am going to do is I'm going to scoot the camera back just slightly. Maybe a little bit better of a view. Okay. We're going to go with PLA first. Like I said, this is not scientific. This is taking my lighter and heating up this area, and maybe we'll do a count. Maybe we'll count to 10 seconds just for fun, unless of course it decides that it wants to catch on fire or something. So here we go. (1001), 1002. Oh, let's see, the actual zip tie broke. Just let me figure out a different way to do that. I have another piece that I printed, I believe. Yep, there it is. Okay, I'm just going to hang it off of one little part now. So, here we go. Once again, I'm going to heat it up, and I'm going to put my hand underneath just in case. We'll try 10 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1000. So the part itself lasted almost 3 seconds, and it's pretty much completely obliterated. See if I get this into the shot. It's melted, and it's still really wiggly weak. So I think we got, what, 3 seconds on that one. So let's do the ABS. And mind you, after I heated up the first one, this is the first one I started. Let's see if I get that in the shot. This is the first one I started cooking. So the first one, the second one was a brand new piece when I torched it. So now we'll go for ABS, same thing. I think the PLA hit 3 seconds. So we'll see how long the ABS will last. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. So that lasted 10 seconds, which is actually quite surprising. And one of the things I didn't like, though, is it caught on fire and stayed on fire. I actually had to blow it out. And it's still really soft. So now we'll do the PA. Same test. One 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013. So that actually went 13 seconds before the wire tie itself broke. And you'll notice that the material itself is barely even drooping. Now, remember how the PLA and ABS are super soft afterwards? This, although soft, is still pretty strong and hot. And you'll notice that the flame itself actually went out right away, so it didn't stay on fire, so it has really high heat resistance. Now I have one more test that I'm going to do that I want to set up for. Okay, last but not least on our 3 different types of plastics is our smash test. And this more or less is just simply show you how well they stand up under an impact. So we're going to start out with everybody's beloved PLA. I'm going to try to keep this as even as I possibly can. Just hit it a couple times on this edge by going up about, call it 8 inches. So, I don't know if the camera will focus. That'll give you a good idea. Then we'll go for ABS. Take an area that's not burnt. Same amount. So, not much damage. It's definitely squished down if you look at the one compared to it. And then PA. Almost nothing at all. So let me go ahead and zoom in on the 3 different ones here and see if I can stack them in a way that makes sense. So let me see if I can get the camera to zoom in here. So actually we'll just do a couple at a time. So you can see here, there's the PA, and this is the one that I smashed, so almost nothing. And then if you look at the ABS, a bit lower, and then good old PLA. So I think in the end it gives you a really good idea of why I chose the PA66, why it's going to be so good for this sphere. And it has really good characteristics all the way around. At the same time, we have a poll going right now for color choices, so go ahead and take a look at that. And if you have any questions, let me know. Look us up on the Sphere Builders group and go ahead and message me. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.